All right, so we just arguably saw the greatest triple jump competition in the history of track and field. And yes, I know that's a bold statement considering how much depth we've seen in the triple jump, dating back to the 1990s and all that, but this was one for the books. And I'm gonna break this competition down and see how it kind of stacks up to other competitions that we've seen all throughout history. So first off, 2024 European Championships, they're going down in Rome, Italy. And in this men's triple jump, we had two major competitors. Pedro Pichardo, who competes for Portugal, he was going up against Jordan Diaz Fortune, who competes for Spain. Fun fact, both of them originally competed for Cuba, transferred allegiance to their respective countries. But Pedro Pichardo was arguably one of the greatest triple jumpers in history already at this point. 2013 silver medal, 2015 silver medal, as well as 2021 Olympic gold, 2022 World Championship gold. He did get injured last year, so he wasn't able to compete at the World Championships, but he really proved that he was one of the greatest in history with this competition. He started off in round one jumping 17.51 meters, which was a season's best for him. But he was quickly surpassed by Fortune, who jumped 17.56 meters. So we already were going to see a great head-to-head between these two guys. Then round two is where things just went absolutely insane. Pedro Pichardo jumped 18.04 meters to not only take the lead, not only take the world lead, not only take a championship record, but almost break his personal best of 18.08 meters, which he had set all the way back in 2015. His second best jump ever is 18.06 meters, also set back in 2015. So this 18.04 meter jump was his farthest jump in 9 years, and also his third farthest performance of his entire career. Easily one of the farthest performances that we've ever seen in the history of the sport. So this set off a wave of shock in the track and field world, considering how far he had jumped and considering how long it had been since he had actually jumped 18 meters. So this was round two. In round two, we also saw Diaz Fortune. He managed to jump 17.82 meters. Again, creeping him a little bit farther up. His personal best was 17.87 meters. So he was getting a little close to his personal best, showing that, listen, I'm still in this competition. This was going to be hot. Well, as we progressed through the rounds, we got to round three, nothing too crazy there. Round four, Diaz Fortune. He went out to 17.96 meters, surpassing his personal best, breaking the national record, and showing that, hold up, yeah, cool, you jumped 18.04 meters? Let me show you what I got. Yes, I didn't get 18 yet, but I'm really, really close, and I want to make sure that you're scared, Pichardo. So he got out to that, but then round five. Pichardo, he couldn't respond. He didn't jump anything too far, 17.47. Diaz Fortune. This was the shock. 18.18 meters for Diaz Fortune. He already set a personal best with that 17.9. Now he just significantly improved it. 18.18 meters, personal best, national record, world lead, all those accolades. But even more importantly, that moved him to number 3 all time in the history of the triple jump. Only behind Jonathan Edwards' 18.29 meter world record and Christian Taylor's 18.21 meters, number 2 all time, all the way back in Beijing 2015. This was a massive performance that, again, shocked the track and field world, considering how far he went, considering what his personal best prior to this was, and considering Pichardo had already jumped 18 meters in this same competition. But we did have one more round. Round 6. Pichardo was going for it, but he couldn't respond. He still had a massive jump of 17.92 meters. And then once that, Diaz Fortune saw that he didn't need to go any farther, he just skipped out on round 6 and took the gold medal at the European Championships. Again, Pichardo came up for second place, 18.04. Now, let's get into some of this historical context, see how this competition kind of stacks up in terms of, the history, in terms of some of the other competitions that we've seen in the past. Now, first off, this was only the second time in history that we had ever seen an athlete jump 18 meters and not win the competition. Like I said, Diaz Fortune, he jumped 18.18 meters for the win. Pichardo, he jumped 18.04 meters for second place. Prior to this, back in 2015 at the Doha Diamond League, we saw Christian Taylor finish second place, jumping 18.04 meters. He actually finished second to Pichardo, who jumped 18.06 meters in that same competition. So again, this is only the second time in history a man had ever jumped 18 meters and not won the competition. And here's the top marks in the men's triple jump that had never won a competition. Again, the farthest marks that had never won. Again, Pichardo as well as Christian Taylor, those are the only 2 times that someone jumped 18 meters and did not win a competition. history at this point. Now, when talking about all-time performances in the triple jump, we now have 8 guys who have surpassed the 18-meter barrier. Now, Diaz Fortune becomes that 8th man. But then we also have 19 performances ever in the history of the triple jump to actually be over the 18-meter barrier. We saw one guy actually do it indoors with Hughes Fabrizengo, jumping 18.07 meters. And then we've seen 2 men do it twice in the same competition. All the way back in 1995, we saw Jonathan Edwards break the world record at 18.29 meters, but he also had an ancillary jump of 18.16 meters. On top of that, 2015 at the Lausanne Diamond League, Christian Taylor had jumped 18.06 meters, but he also had an ancillary jump of 18.04 meters. So again, only 2 men in history have ever jumped over 18 meters twice in the same competition as an individual athlete. But when talking about multiple athletes jumping 18 meters in the same competition, we've actually seen it occur a couple times at this point. First was the Doha Diamond League back in 2015, where Pichardo jumped 18.06 and then Christian Taylor jumped 18.04 meters, finishing second. After that, in 2017, we did see 2 18-meter jumps. One of them was windy, but Christian Taylor, 18.11 meters to take the win in Prefontaine, and then we saw Will Clay jump 18.05 meters, slightly windy, but that was the second time that we ever saw 18-meter jumps in the same competition. Finally, we just saw it happen here in Rome. 18.18 meters by Diaz Fortune, and then 18.04 meters by Pichardo. So 3 times in history that we've seen multiple men over the 18-meter barrier in the same competition. So with that, was this the greatest competition for the men's triple jump that we have ever seen in history? Well, it definitely stacks up and it definitely has a good argument for that case. Let's take a look back at some of these others through history. All the way back in 1996 at the Atlanta Olympic Games, we saw Kenny Harrison from the United States. He won the gold medal jumping 18.09 meters. Then we did see Jonathan Edwards. He came up for second place, jumping 17.88 meters. But we also saw Kenny Harrison jump 17.99 meters as well in that same competition. So you're talking about 1 18-meter jump and then 2 other jumps over 17.8 meters. Then we have another one, Doha Diamond League 2015. Like I mentioned, Pichardo, he jumped 18.06, and then Christian Taylor, he jumped 18.04 meters. So very strong competition there. We also have to talk about the Lausanne Diamond League back in 2015 as well. We did see Christian Taylor jump 18.06 meters as well as 18.02 meters. Then you saw Pichardo, he jumped 17.99 meters and 17.85 meters. This was a very, very high quality competition. Again, multiple guys jumping over 17.8 meters or higher in the same competition. Here, we saw 2 18-meter jumps, both of them from Christian Taylor. Fast forward to 2017 at the Prefontaine Diamond League. Again, we saw Christian Taylor 18.11 meters, Will Clay 18.05 meters, slightly windy, but we also did see Will Clay jump 17.82 meters on 2 occasions in that same competition. So that was another one, very, very high quality competition from both those guys. Now, another fast forward, Paris Diamond League 2019. Here we saw 18.06 meters by Will Clay. That was his personal best, still stands to this day. And then we also saw Christian Taylor jump 17.82 meters. Again, 2019 Paris Diamond League, amazing performance from both those guys. Finally, we have Rome 2024. And yes, I've mentioned, Diaz Fortune, he jumped 18.18. We saw Pedro Pichardo jump 18.04. But on top of those 18-meter jumps, like I noted, we also saw Diaz Fortune jump 17.96 meters. And then we also saw Pichardo jump 17.92 meters. So if we kind of look at all these competitions through history and all the marks by multiple athletes in the same competition, you can argue that 2024 at the European Championships in Rome, this was arguably the greatest competition when talking about the depth of marks. 2 guys over the 18-meter barrier, 1 guy getting to the 3rd farthest jump in history, another guy jumping 18.04 meters, one of the farthest jumps in history, and then behind them we saw 2 other jumps from each of these guys at 17.9 meters. Now I can probably argue that Jonathan Edwards back in 1995 with his 18.29 meter jump as well as his 18.16 meter jump, that was probably, better overall when talking about the depth of marks. But when talking about the head-to-head competition between 2 guys in the same triple jump competition, going head to head, literally responding to each other, listen, you can make an argument that this European Championships in Rome was the greatest ever. I do like the Lausanne Diamond League where we saw Christian Taylor again jump 18.06 as well as 18.02. I could also give a slight shout out to Beijing 2015 where we did see Christian Taylor jump, number 2 all time, 18.21 meters. And then we saw Pichardo, he actually jumped 17.73 meters. So I was kind of looking at performances that were 17.8 or higher, to make that combination, but a great performance there. Again, this just speaks to the depth of this competition that that we saw, and I had to give a shout out and had to kind of just dive in and talk about this performances that we saw. At this point, we're looking at 4 active guys who have the potential to jump 18 meters when we get to the Paris Olympic Games. Again, Diaz Fortune as well as Pichardo, we just saw them both do it here. Like I noted, huge for Breezango from Burkina Faso. He has the world indoor record, which he set back in 2022, jumping 18.07 meters. So he's still active, and he's a reigning world champion. You also have Jaden Hibbert from Jamaica. Now, he hasn't jumped 18 meters yet. He's only jumped 17.8 meters, but he is on the path and has a lot of growth and development. And considering what we saw from him at the Racers Grand Prix this year, he very much is on pace to, get to 18 meters this year. And we have never seen that in history. 4 jumpers who have the potential to jump 18 meters in the same year. The best that we've come is probably, Pichardo, Taylor, as well as Will Clay, all of them jumping 18 meters during that era of 2015 to about 2019. So I don't know, we're gonna see how that kind of plays out, but let me know what you think about the men's triple jump. Let me know what you think about this competition at the European Championships. Again, I know that the triple jump doesn't get much love. Check out the video that I did on the history of the women's triple jump with Yulimar Rojas sitting out this year. This is arguably the greatest era for the women's triple jump. We could be getting there with the men's triple jump. Shout out to Christian Taylor and Will Clay. They're both still active, both still going for maybe their last Olympic Games, but let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, y'all.